Thank you, Nomad. Getting the first game underway here between Liquid and Aurora Insania back into the mix. He said 10 times better, Lacoste.
10 times better? I mean, there's always some wise words coming out from G, the cockroach of Team Aurora. It is, I don't know, I just love his interviews. Doesn't say much, but says a lot. This is the guy that will never reveal anything. No matter what happens, no matter what kind of a question you ask him about the draft, you don't know. You don't know if he's being sarcastic or not, but both of these drafts, I do agree with the panel. I think Kiyotaka on Queen of Pain is going to have a really good time. There aren't that many ways to deal with him. Bramble Maze, Curse Crown later on, Storm Spirit with the pull. It's their LSA. These are all, like, I would say cheaper spells, but Kiyotaka, this newer trend that we're seeing with the Blade Mail Quap, we also saw Blade Mail Tiny from the previous game, it does work out amazingly, and also he does have a bit of a protection from his Enchantress, does have global presence from Dawnbreaker, so if he blinks in, and you know this guy's going to blink in, he's going to mess up, he's going to be playing super aggressive, he does have a follow-up this time around.
Yeah, you've called Kiyotaka in the past the Eastern EE, and he definitely has that similar all-or-nothing playstyle. It's been fun to watch on the Queen of Pain, and they do have some decent lockdown. They have some good sustain, Solar Guardian, maybe some overprotective Nature's Attendance. And I like what Aurora have, and they've looked really good so far. They had one bad series to Gaimin Gladiators, but other than that, they've been a sharp team. And I'm excited to see how this matchup goes over mid. Kiyotaka actually taking a good amount of damage from Nisha, who is running out of mana. We'll see who picks up these water runes. Doesn't look like anybody's coming over, but where do you think first blood happens?
Mid lane, it's Kiyotaka. It's definitely going to happen. Either he's going to play super aggressive, kill himself, or he's just going to get the kill somehow, really push the limits. So definitely the lane to watch what's happening in that one. I mean, we saw when he was playing Pangolier, Hand of Midas did go for an item. He's trying to initiate onto Boxy, who doesn't have Shadow Realm.
No, doesn't have it for 7 seconds, but does have a Fairy Fire trying to get away well.
He also has Healing Salve, so might pop Healing Salve and Shadow Realm go back to full HP.
Yeah. Easy does it. Ooh, sending the Boglet over.
Look at the duration left on that Healing Salve. Because of the Pixie Dust, that regeneration has been increased by 50% in 7.39.
Stun on a Saberlight. Bristleback does not have the greatest win rate. This has been not the best Bristle tournament, but seems to still get a lot of priority. And you can see Dark Will on your screen. 14 overall wins in 34 picks. So a lot of picks on the Dark Will, but under 50% win rate.
Bristleback has been constantly nerfed. I mean, the hero has been OP for quite some time. He was the first pick for a good 6 months, I would say. Nightfall doing a good job blocking the entrance to that Lotus Pool, making sure that they're going to get it. And this is the type of a support that Sven needs in the lane. Like, a lot of the times you will see Sven slightly get pushed out of the lane. If he dies once, he comes back to a lane, they have level advantage, maybe they kill him one more time. But with this sustain, and he also started with a very interesting item build, 2 branches, Magic Wand as well, playing against Bristleback, knows that there's going to be a good amount of spam coming out.
Yeah, so you have the sustain, you have the Nature's Attendance to heal you up. Right now, just level 1, as they went level 2 in the enchant. But Nightfall, you know, sometimes you like a Warlock in your lane. You could get Shadow Word, heal up, stay in the lane, sustain. See the shackles on the Mickey, but there's not really a lot of damage onto the Lina. Their attention is onto Insania, who will give up first blood to Toronto Tokyo. But there will be a trade for the Lina to be picked up, and over mid they also look over at the Enchantress, but they just don't have the control or the damage.
Insania still in vacation mode. I mean, definitely does affect your gameplay, jokes aside, because, you know, I think Fear had a good point on the panel that if you're playing against these guys that are spamming 10, 12 games a day, every single day, when you go on a vacation or if you're gone for whatever reason, it can definitely affect your gameplay. But overall, a decent trade for Liquid. Mickey did get solo XP, and they're getting initiated on the bottom. Mickey
has himself that wand, lands a stun.
Raindrop plus 1, keeping him alive.
Should survive, and they're just they're so aggressive. Well, why not, right? Chicken Fingers gives you that opportunity to have that with a Hex and a Shackle. There really isn't much stopping you from landing a Starbreaker afterwards, and they're confident enough to just go under the tower. And
that's very aggressive from Mira. He knows that he has Stick, Fairy Fire, and a bit of a heal coming out from Shackles.
And MK's in trouble. Starbreaker lands, and they'll have this kill. They might even get a second. They hit the Shackle. These creeps just aren't hitting Mira hard enough to kill him immediately. But now, finally dies to Insania, and Toronto Tokyo will have the Celestial Hammer, but just doesn't quite land everything.
Raindrop. They did invest into early raindrops on Liquid, making sure that it's going to keep them alive, knowing there's a good amount of spam coming out.
Problem is that they kind of stayed persistent on Aurora, right? Like, you have that raindrop, but then afterwards, they still had a lot more to throw your way, especially when both heroes are there, when you've got the extra Hex Shackle. They'll bring Panto over. It is about that 6-minute mark. And Mira's going to walk all the way down mid to try and contest whatever power rune comes out. Kiyotaka, as well as Nisha, have been quiet other than just getting their CS. Ops placed on the high ground, sees Nisha, ball lightning in.
He gets it.
He picks up that haste rune very easily, and Panto now in a bit of trouble. Kiyotaka is there to help, but so is Mira. The Shadow Realm Strike just rips up this Enchantress, though.
Nicely done by Nisha. Blinks in. If he finds any other rune, like Regen could be real nice, but other runes could cause some of the issues. With haste, it does allow him to run back. Still grabbing the kill. Enchantress is very annoying. Like, she's very difficult to deal with overprotective wisps. He pops the nature attendants as well. Magic wand. Win rate not the greatest, but Hero is definitely making a comeback. I don't think we've seen it too much in the last couple of tournaments.
Certainly finding its way in. That's why it's only 7 picks right now. But there's a lot of heroes in this game that don't have that great of a win rate. So somebody's getting the benefits of a victory here.
Yeah,
we gotta
go through the list, see who we can find to blame, who ruined the win rate of the hero. That's why, win rate sometimes when you check what's happening after day 1, day 2, it might give you the wrong picture what's going on.
You start to get a little bit deeper into the playoffs, then maybe it means a bit more, but there are a lot more games happening, of course, in the Swiss stage when everybody's still around. Saberlight getting to that 6 before nightfall.
Having a bit of a quieter game on Saberlight. They weren't able to put too much pressure, considering that there was Enchantress in the lane, which did manage to stabilize the lane for Sven. Usually, as I said, if this guy dies once, maybe he can die the second time. But all he wants to do is, okay, there's the first Solar Guardian. Nice setup.
Also got Panto to try and help out, heal up Mira.
Real in.
Ike is the target, but the Starbreaker not exactly on target there for anything other than just kind of losing Mira and running away. They committed to that, but didn't really get
a kill. Ooh, this is the big one for Kiyotaka. This is one of the best heroes in the game to TP rotate with, especially if you get Arcane Rune, Amplified Damage. Especially if you push out the waves, if the lane's not close to your tower, Queen of Pain is definitely going to punish that. So far, the lanes are in a good position for Liquid. Keeping it at their towers. Nisha, as long as he has mana, he's going to be fine, unless somehow Mira can find the wraparound. Level 4 on this Shadow Shaman.
A little bit of a lead for Aurora. You've got Dawnbreaker at the top, not getting that kill, though, over bottom. Still waiting to see if Queen of Pain makes a move. Now Nightfall at level 7. They bring in Sanya as well as the Dark Willow of Boxy towards top. Maybe looking for Nightfall, but if there's this rotation from Kiyotaka with that amplified damage and they don't kill Nightfall immediately, this could fall apart.
Yeah, this is not the easiest hero to kill. Both of the supports on Liquid are level 4. Bristleback with green facet doesn't really deal that much damage. He is lowering armor. Sven with 1 point in Warcry. It gives him good 5 armor, which is most of the time nice, but he's also super high level on Sven. He was not pressured in the lane, which does allow him to stay in the lane, farm the camps close to him.
Net reel into a Laguna LSA. Toronto Tokyo getting a bit low. Is still alive, just
fine.
With a sliver of health, and now they've got Kiyotaka nearby. Popping that amplified damage should be able to get a kill here on a Boxy at least, but the Sonic Wave gets thrown out, only hitting onto this Dark Willow. Insania, not a lot of mana to work with. Panto's here for the heal just in case. And they've got Mira with the Hex, and they'll have Shackle if need be, but they don't. Kiyotaka's got a double.
Very nice moves from Aurora. All these small items that he did buy on Toronto, Tokyo, also that Lotus that he did pick up, actually made the difference. Raindrop, ate the Lotus, and with this amplified damage, this is pretty much going to be a tower dead unless Nisha decides to TP rotate. He doesn't find the rune. It's going to be in the top lane. Toronto, Tokyo, trying to snatch it. Nisha uses almost all of his mana pool.
Pops a clarity. Gets the tower. And then Blink's looking over for Insania, but won't get that opportunity to jump this Naga Siren.
All 3 cores from Aurora. Top of the net worth. This is not where you want these heroes to be. Having a bit of a global presence with Solar Guardian, Queen of Pain can easily set things up. Same goes for Shadow Shaman. And also in terms of the damage output on Liquid, there is Storm Spirit, Lina. Not sure how Mickey wants to get involved. Lina is a bit of a weird hero in terms of when she gets involved. A lot of the times you will see Lina, especially if she loses the early stages of the game, not to get too involved early. Doesn't have a defense mechanism, so if you get a jump, they're gonna die. And Toronto, Tokyo will secure this kill.
And that's what you talked about. Global presence, you can be in there. Solar Guardian makes it pretty easy. They are going to get a kill over bottom on Mira and get the courier to deliver the items before that. But wanting to slow down Mira as best as possible. And that's just about before Mira got to level 6. So you're slowing down at maybe a potential push with Serpent Wards, at least for a couple seconds.
They're also showing the heroes. Boxy showed in the top lane. This Observer Ward did catch him. Lina showed, Storm showed in the bottom lane as well. So this allowed them to play slightly more aggressive in the mid lane, allowing them to go for the tower, at least deal some damage. Toronto, Tokyo, next on ulti in a minute. The big one is Nightfall. Like, Lina against Sven matchup can be very difficult for Lina until she gets to her BKB. Even when she has BKB, Sven will still initiate on you. There are no BKB piercing abilities on side of Team Liquid, so if she gets stunned, she's pretty much gonna die. One downside to not having too many stuns on Aurora other than Sven is you're not getting the value out of your Vanquisher, which is pretty insane damage. With level 10 talent, it goes up to 30%.
Blade Mail now for the Dawnbreaker, and it's Nisha actually right under the nose of Mira. See if they can secure the kill. They'll pop the chicken finger on him and get that kill, or the foul play. They'll look for Kiyotaka. The Bramble Maze lands on 2. The heals are enough, at least to keep Kiyotaka alive, and Nightfall makes the rotation. But with the God Strength and the stun, it's still not a quick enough kill to stop the song and the TP out.
Kiyotaka was doing the math there. If he uses Sonic Wave, will that be enough to kill him? But did not go for it. And now, with God's Strength still remaining, they might be able to finish off this tower. Nightfall needs to be careful.
Yeah, God's Strength ran out. And now the chase is on. But a 2-man Stormhammer into a Solar Guardian. They'll bring in the Dawnbreaker, who doesn't have a lot of mana to really follow up jumping in. But all these heroes are here for Aurora. They'll have Queen of Pain back. And Liquid, they're on the edge. They're looking maybe to initiate, but instead Kiyotaka is the one who jumps forward. They land that net, and Saberlight's going to be slowed up. The Celestial Hammer as well as the Stormbreaker.
Big terrorizes.
But Saberlight fighting 1v1 against Toronto. Tokyo now gets some help here from that Storm. Good Sonic Wave puts Storm low. Nisha ends up dead. And Toronto Tokyo, he's caught within the wards, but he should be fine.
I love these Blade Mails. It does allow Queen of Pain to jump in. And with the Blade Mail, it's only level 1 blink, so very long cooldown, actually 12 seconds. And if he pops the Blade Mail, it kind of resets as well, so they can't really focus him. Mickey, no LSA ready.
No way to help Insania. He's already songed. It's on cooldown. He gets caught by the Shackle.
G also talked in a pre-game interview whether this is going to be a good Shadow Shaman game against Storm or not, whether he's going to be clicking the buttons, and he did click some buttons. Storm Spirit zips in, instantly hexed, drops the wards, and then I believe that's a level 3 Shackle, so definitely more than enough to bring him down. There's also not too many ways to stopping Shadow Shaman from casting his spells. There are some, but it's nothing like too crazy.
Starbreaker, or Saberlight, just taking these stacks. Go for the Heaven's Halberd. We've seen a lot of Bristlebacks go to Heaven's Halberd first. Enjoying this item, especially against against something like Sven. But the lead for Aurora is kind of up there already. 4,000 net worth ahead, 15 minutes into the game. You've got Sven at the top. How do you deal with Nightfall? He's so far ahead from the rest.
Nightfall is going to hit a pretty strong timing. Already did, considering that he didn't die a single time. He was not pushed out of his lane. 2,000 HP on him. This Warcry is maxed out. Great against Bristleback, great against Lina as well. Lina is dealing mixed damage, magical and physical, so that's going to be blocking some of it at least.
It's the end of his God Strength. He'll back up deeper into the jungle. Panto's actually pretty far forward across the river. He's looking for a Solar Crest. Shadow Shaman wants that Blink initiation. Almost has that Blink Dagger. That'll give them another option. And going in, a lot of their fights, at least have, up to this point for Aurora, have kind of been this counterplay with Solar Guardian.
When Mira picks up a Blink Dagger, they can start to play more aggressive plays on the side, make sure that they have good vision. Shadow Shaman jumps in. The follow-up from Dawnbreaker should be enough. And now they feel very comfortable farming. I see that both of the Blade Mail carriers on Aurora also found Chip West, so that's going to be even more damage returned.
Uh-oh. That combo feels really sweet. Kiyotaka pops the Blade Mail, boxes here. Nisha also over to the side with Insania.
He knows. He can reset multiple times. Mira caught him.
Shackle, Sword Guardians coming in, and that's an easy kill on Nisha, set up again by Shadow Shaman. I mean, how many games do we watch that Shadow Shaman is just the guy playmaking for whatever team they're on?
Yeah, that's why this hero is heavily contested, one of the most contested heroes. He's not in top 5, actually.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, he's contested in 65% of the games. The big ones are Dead Prophet, Batrider, and Undying.
Every game we watch this Shadow Shaman devastate the game of somebody on the other team. Just with chicken fingers, having that initial chicken fingers into a Hex and a Shackle, you have such a long amount of time to have this lockdown and have somebody respond. And it also sets up well, of course, with that Solar Guardian that we talked about. In Toronto, Tokyo, he's only 1,000 gold away from picking up his Aghanim Scepter.
This allows you to land your stun almost immediately, and it pulses, it does follow you, so it's really nice. Kiyotaka, I haven't seen this build yet. Also, there's no real silences. I guess he wants to be the guy who initiates, pretty much, because Dawnbreaker is not an initiator. She's a counter-initiator. Shadow Shaman can do it, but a lot of the times I think you will see Kiyotaka blink in, pop his Blade Mail, use Yule Scepter to dispel Bramble Maze, dispel Cursed Crown, some Goose Stacks as well. Liquid trying to make a move here, but this is a very difficult kill to get. When on the other side, Nightfall, he's ready to take the fight. With the Blink Dagger, Echo Saber, Mask of Madness, it is an insane amount of damage.
He's got so
Mira,
much farm.
I feel like he's going to catch him here. Obs is ready.
Blink Dagger is available for Mira. Smoke will break. And with the God Strength, it's just such an easy kill. Using that Hex, having that Shackle, making sure Nightfall has enough time to output that damage. And with God Strength, it's instant.
They have no response to this Sven. He's way too massive, deals way too much damage, and he also has heroes behind him. Same goes for Queen of Pain. These two heroes like really transition well into the mid and late game, especially with the good start that they're having right now. Liquid will smoke up. Maybe they're going to be able to find something here, but they got to be aware of Dawn ulti.
Mira is the first one to go down as they see each other. It's Nightfall who backs away.
They wanted the big target, but I also like that Dawnbreaker's not using ulti for Shadow Shaman, instead keeping it for the bigger target if they initiate onto Queen of Pain or Sven.
Now, of course, has that Ags a little bit faster than the average. And the Yules for the Queen of Pain. Up 7,000 net worth. It's not like it's been this huge kill one-sided affair, but overall, they're just farming the map so much more efficiently and getting more out of these fights.
Yeah, look at how efficient Toronto Tokyo's farming. Even the small camp runs in. Bristleback.
Terrorize, thought about a couple times, but now you gotta hit everybody and it's just too late. You held onto it 3-4 times. You
Insania might die here. Kiyotaka has enough to use the Sonic Wave if he wants to, but also
doesn't even need it.
Doesn't need it. If he was about to use, or at least try to use the song, he can interrupt it with the Yule Scepter, has that region running, and then he can set it up, so saves it for a bigger target. Kiyotaka, no emotions whatsoever, as per usual.
Very stoic in the webcam view.
Yeah, that knee also always up.
Yeah, it's the keyboard side knee. So he wraps his arm around the knee and gets to the keyboard. I don't know if that's like...
Yeah, look at the difference
or...
between Mira, the way he's sitting. You can tell that he stands, he's fully focused, and then you have Kiyotaka.
I mean, his sitting stance is even crazier. He's like leaning on the knee that is
it's always the right
wedged
knee
between the table. I can't sit with my legs up like that. That is...
Their knees are not heavy, definitely.
that is intense, Mira's sitting stance. Get to that 20-minute mark. We get them themselves the Tormentor. You've got Shard now on Mira, who's continuing to just have a great game. Having quite the time, up 10,000, 7-11. Without stopping Nightfall, I just don't see Liquid. They have to find a way to pick him off, but they haven't exactly crossed the river.
They don't have the damage. Like, their damage is a little bit over time. They have some explosive damage from Lina, but it's not enough. Even with Storm Spirit zipping in, maybe with this amplified damage, they are going to be able to find something. And also the way Mickey itemized, going for straight BKB, kind of unnecessary in a game like this, knowing that if he gets jumped, he's straight up going to die. There's another pick off. Mira, another death of him.
Yeah,
he
caught him with
is 7 out of 11 deaths off his team.
Wow.
Top tower is under
Which I'm really not surprised. I mean, in the last couple of months, maybe a whole year, even more, I would say, we actually have position 4 and position 5 swapping in terms of how much farm they're getting and how many deaths they're having in the team. We've been... I'll hold that thought.
Dawnbreaker, they really have the damage for this? Solar Guardian, Sonic Wave, Insania's dead. Saberlight moving forward and the Terrorize landed. Now you've got the Wisp to heal them up. And Kiyotaka just moving forward. Not a lot of mana, but has the help from Nightfall with the God Strength and the BKB popped. That means Saberlight dies and the push can go for Aurora, but maybe they can find themselves another target. If they find Mickey, this could be really devastating, and they are chasing, they are looking, but he's going to get under the tier 2 tower on the other side of the lane.
Difficult fight for Liquid. I can understand what they're trying to do, because if they initiate on anybody else other than Dawnbreaker, so the only way pretty much for you to play is to go onto Dawnbreaker, and then the rest of the team can't really follow up that easily. But there's also a tier 2 tower. Kiyotaka was in a good place to use the Sonic Wave, so they get a couple more kills. And this Bristleback, like, his damage is non-existent. He's still yet to be involved in a kill. 0-3 and 0 on Saberlight.
Not an exciting game for Bristleback.
Yeah, and to go back to my point about position 4s, like, if you look at the most deaths so far in the tournament, it's going to be mostly position 4s. You have Schofield, you have Boxy, who's like averaging 8.5 deaths per game, Kaori, Michael, and Omar. So most of them are position 4s. I mean, we've been in the meta where Ricky, Nyx Assassin have been popular a couple of months ago, and these heroes were kind of getting the kills, cutting things out, and then dying. Another pick off.
Nisha, he will outlast.
Nightfall's ready.
Everything, and now Mira going to be pulled in by the Vortex,
Got
but
him.
Nightfall comes in, and that's just kind of punishing the greed of
BKB
Nisha.
9 seconds.
They're trying to go, they'll
stuck.
find themselves this Sven and try to get this kill and will. Now getting Nightfall, they hit the Terrorize onto the Dawnbreaker, and the BKB running away is Lina and the rest of the supports. But Nisha stayed greedy, and that's why he ends up dying, but they do get the Sven.
Nightfall. Jumping in and
Into Serpent Wards.
Yes, and he doesn't have phase boots. He doesn't have any ways of getting out like Queen of Pain can, or Dawnbreaker. He was waiting for the right moment to get the jump, making sure that Storm Spirit's not going to be zipping in on top of him one more time, but also needs to be aware of that. So he blinked in. Let's see it.
Oy.
Sure, you got a kill, but you also landed into 2-man LSA. Maybe he was not expecting the rest of the team to be there, but could have also blinked to the side. And still, even with that, they're unable to get more out of it. I think if they got one more trade out of it, it would be still good for Aurora, but yeah, some signs of life from Team Liquid.
Definitely signs of life. You know, it's bedlam damage too that really helps to get that kill. I think, like you said, he wasn't expecting more than maybe the Lina to be there, but they had all the help that they needed to get that kill. To slow down Sven for a second or so. But yeah, he's very close to to Daedalus and then impacting with even more damage.
Yeah, his BKB was also not ready. Like, the full Nightfall wasn't ready. I don't think he had TP available. But instead, they're gonna go into Roche Pit, take it. Let's see who grabs this Roshan. Sven is Transformation Hero. Queen of Pain is a good candidate to take it, but also knowing how he plays on Nightfall, he might just be the one. But never mind. Dawnbreaker with the golden item does survive that initiation.
BKB TP out. Name a more iconic duo, honestly. Don't think you can. BKB and TP. But they did end up giving that Aegis to Kiyotaka.
Overall, a better choice.
He's going for the Shiva's Guard. He's got the Kaya, as well as the Sanj flying in.
Very tanky. Still yet to die. Like, Kiyotaka literally is a flip a coin type of a player. His Hand of Midas Pango didn't really work out. His Ember Spirit, day 1, day 2, it worked out amazingly. Storm Spirit needs to be careful. Let's have BKB and TP ready.
But they're still sticking with Nisha, kind of forcing him to use all his mana.
Scepter's ready.
Yeah, Yules will stop that TP, and now you've got Solar Guardian that can fly in for the stun. The Starbreaker lands, and just the follow-along. Oh, Nisha surviving thanks to Insania being there with the song.
Let's see if Kiyotaka can read this one.
He's still netted up for a while. They'll get Insania instead. But Nisha survives because of the song Sacrifice. Nightfall, I say that, but now they're going, and they hit him one time, and they'll get this kill. I said he survived, but the chase was still there, and the ward giving them everything they needed to get that kill.
Panto is really good. Like, I think this guy, like on Enchantress, you're not going to be seeing that much of an impact. Maybe he's going to be making rotations to the mid lane, stacking some of the camps. Enchantress is not like the most fun hero to watch, what she does, but Panto as a player is very good at providing vision for the team and knowing where they need to play when they are ahead. Even when they're playing from behind, but especially when they're playing from ahead, his warding has been top-notch.
He's definitely been one of those players to really evolve with the last year and a half of play, I would say, or even really the last year.
Yeah, I mean, he was called Panto Meme before, but this guy is definitely not a meme. He removed it from his name. Okay, BKB, forced to use it.
His time with Liga, Chimera, coming in here, playing with Aurora, he is at his prime. Like, he looks so good as a support, and it's, you know, it is the cast around him that really has elevated him into the player that he is now.
Okay, no BKB. Kiyotaka's ready to go in.
Kiyotaka continues to do this, where he is just mirroring these movements. He's sticking to them, and right on to Mickey.
Mickey can't deal damage. These two Blade Mails, you know they're coming, and without a BKB, you're just gonna hurt yourself. Nisha, again, doesn't have much mana to work with. Mira, he's ready to jump in.
Chicken Fingers and the Hex. Terrorize, so Nisha can turn this, but Nightfall is here. Oh, the cleave. Oh, Nightfall. The God Strength just crushes both Boxy and Nisha.
Insania, no song. He is dead as well. That's a triple for Nightfall.
1600 from Nightfall on that attack.
Pretty much the only time Nightfall dies is when Nightfall decides to die and gets himself stuck. But this time, steps Sven, ultra kill for him. Getting unstuck and unleashing that damage.
Oh, yeah. No more daytime because night has fallen here in this game number 1. Liquid hoping to see some sunshine and turn this game around, but it's all Aurora. Just God Strength with Nightfall and the farm that he's got. Hitting for 1600, cleaning up these heroes. The Cleave cleaning up a couple, and they are pushing a couple of lanes at the moment, and you gotta wonder what Liquid's answer is.
They have way too much. Look at Kiyotaka, how aggressive he's playing. He does have still that Aegis available, but with Blade Mail, Yule Scepter, Glimmer Cape behind him, he can play as aggressive as he wants to.
Again, with Solar Guardian, Dawnbreaker's just able to farm away from the lane where they're pushing, be involved in the fight at any time. going into the AC, like, has so much going for them, and Aurora have really put Liquid on their heels. In this game number 1, it has just been all Aurora the entire time. They just never really had a chance to punish Nightfall. They got that 1 kill, but other than that, he free farmed for a long time.
He did. He has satanic. You're not bursting this guy. Not sure what needs to happen. Saberlight again in a lot of trouble. Nightfall, God Strength's ready.
Solar Guardian, and there's the Starbreaker. Toronto Tokyo will get credit and is dominating as they take out Saberlight. Dead for 50 seconds.
Saberlight is 0-5-0. 30 minutes in. Kind of a tough game for him. He got shut down and doesn't... Like, they lost the bottom lane as well. Lena's gonna fall back to jungle. Storm Spirit did get caught off guard a couple of times. As Shadow Shaman, Mira ready in the right spot.
That was a very, very quick Tormentor. I think from half health, Sven killed it.
We saw a lot of like comebacks so far in Wallachia, but this game, I don't know what needs to happen for Aurora to lose this game.
The fights aren't long enough.
The fights are over. As soon as Sven blinks in, the fight is pretty much over. Kiyotaka going for a solo kill.
And he'll get it. Now Insania's silence. Gems on the deck. Panto nearby. They'll pick up the gem, but just another kill. Kiyotaka has played very aggressively this entire game.
They just picked up a gem, but Panto also bought the gem. It's on the courier, so he's going to keep that one in base. I mean, they also just purchased the gem on Liquid, which is a bit of an unfortunate one for them. Means that you're going to be losing onto vision advantage. I mean, you don't have any advantage, but you're going to be losing at least some vision.
Pushing 2 lanes at the same time, just pushing in mid, which they've already broken the high ground on, and it's just the range racks that
These are very generous 14%, I would say.
Yeah, not really sure where it comes from.
Storm Spirit, probably. His ability to fight next to the fountain, reset multiple times, maybe use a buyback. Nisha trying to go through the twin gates, play the top part of the map. Lane is approaching bottom. That's another freebie tower for Aurora.
Let's see if they push through, because they took the top tier 2. I thought maybe they'd try for the high ground, but they stopped and went towards bottom to kind of wait a little bit.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Dark Willow. It's going to spot Kiyotaka, but they've got the Solar Guardian. Kiyotaka, again, just killing Boxy so quickly. Nightfall gets Insania. Without
also
these
dying.
supports, there's just no help, and Mikke is dead to Mira. They'll find Kiyotaka, they'll vortex him in, and they won't get this kill. Able to blink away. Sonic Wave finally finishes off Kiyotaka, but it is just costing so much, and you're not able to TP out on Saberlight, so he'll end up falling too, and 4 heroes are dead while Nightfall takes the base.
Yeah, he's taking pretty much the whole base. Oh, nice blink out. Has stun ready. Nisha needs to be careful. No God Strength. God Strength has been nerfed. 5 less seconds in the last patch, so doesn't have that available, but should be enough to take this side. Maybe take the mid as well. 40 seconds without Bristleback.
Just take this ranged, and then maybe Mira even drops Serpent Ward's bottom.
Yeah, they have BKB still available on Sven.
They're on cooldown right now, but he'll have them up.
13,000 building damage.
Ball Lightning just looking for an opportunity to maybe get a pull or just deter some of these Aurora heroes, but they're just so far ahead, it's not easy to do so. Up 34,000 net worth. Aurora have just not missed a beat.
Come get me.
Nightfall has had a perfect game. Picks up the Swift Blink. He's 10-1 and 3. They'll wait for Roche. They're waiting on that timer. They have sent the Croaker in there. Much nicer home than the normal camp that a Croaker spawns in. A lot of space. It's bigger than my apartment. Ball Lightning looking for the Enchantress, but Sproings, and they've got the God Strength Mickey never had a chance. Neither did Nisha. They called GG right there and then. Triple kill for Nightfall, making it an
Another
ultra kill.
No more heroes to kill. No Rampage for Nightfall. Well, this game was just a complete beatdown. Aurora winning pretty much all 3 lanes, starting with them getting first blood and also allowing them to...
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 2 here. We'll see if Aurora can get the 2-0. But it's been a 3-game kind of day. And we will start this one out with a very quick pause, of course. A little bit of lag coming through, but Liquid, I like their lineup. I think they're set for success. Aurora, they have your favorite hero. Is this a game where Rubik can finally look good?
Maybe against, like, there's some really good spells. Some of the, like, cheap spells to steal. You can steal Toss, you can steal anything from Shadow Shaman's gonna be good. Maybe stuff from the Venomancer. Others, not usable as much. Wukong's okay-ish. Boundless Strike, okay, nothing too crazy. You're going to be wanting to steal Avalanche, and you're going to be wanting to steal stuff from Shadow Shaman, either Shackles or Serpent Wards. Hex is also pretty good, but he does go with the chicken fingers. So let's see also the win rate on Rubik. He's sitting at 50% currently, picked in 4 games. Nothing too crazy. I'm fine with Rubik when he has like good stuff to steal. I thought that Rubik's going to make a comeback. After seeing the Shadow Shaman, 2 out of 5 actually. Maybe I didn't refresh my page, but yeah, it is. It does feel like Rubik might be back just because certain heroes are back. Because this hero by himself, it's not really good. Overall, I do like Liquid's draft quite a lot more compared to the previous game. This time around, I think they have very good tempo. Imagine them snowballing the game, winning the lanes. You have Monkey against Ember, which is Monkey's favorite matchup, and then you have good ways to siege. Like we've seen some of these late games, like mid-late games, how it's easy to siege with Shadow Shaman, add in Venomancer as well. This is some like Slytherin type of a lineup from Liquid, and you also have Wukong's command. So sieging the high ground is not going to be too difficult. Sure you are playing against Magnus, but overall, I do like what Liquid got in this second game.
We'll have to see if they can succeed in this second game, if this is going to be where they push it to a game 3. We always have our eyes on Kiyotaka, and he is on the Ember Spirit.
Yet to lose on the hero.
Yeah, definitely one of those very proficient Ember hero players, but also at the same time, just one of those exciting players to watch. We talked about it a lot ad nauseum in the first game about the fact that he is just one of those 50-50 players, all in or all out. And I'm excited to see what he brings to the table in this one. Up against Monkey King. Not the easiest time for Ember, right?
No, definitely not. And they also got an extra rune. Chen, he is starting with Setter, so we'll have Mana Burn available, which is very annoying, especially for Shadow Shaman. This hero does consume quite a lot of mana, and this is something that Panto's gonna try to completely remove in the lane. Good way to harass, but also Venomancer. So far, nothing yet scaled on Saberlight. Thinking what he needs to have. For now, it's just going to be Venomous Gale. Panto.
Just fighting back and forth with Boxy. What does this do, though, for Toronto Tokyo in terms of the item build? Because usually when you've got this Chen, they'll build a couple items that maybe an offlaner would have wanted, and I'll hold that thought as Insania gets first blood as the Elder Titan on to Mira. So Rubik doing Rubik things, as you'd say.
Yeah, like, it's very difficult for him to trade in this lane. I was just trying to find something positive to say about Rubik, because I've been shitting on this hero for way too long. Not an easy lane for him. Like, once he gets to level 2, at least he'll have telekinesis ready, but other than that, it's nothing too crazy. Maybe they can try to salvage this lane when Liquid's lane is pushed closer with the Rubik's Lift into the Skewer back underneath the tower. This could be the play that they could try to go for, but they also just gave away First Blood, and I believe there is some extra stats coming out on the Courier. Yeah, there is Healing Salve as well for Insania. He does have Windlace.
So much check.
He can't really trade. Like, it's impossible to trade against ET.
He did have that 59 plus 49 for a second, and he can really ruin your day, and that's how he was getting First Blood. This Satyr put Boxy out of mana. Well.
That's one way to deal with Shadow Shaman. This Chen with Mana Burn is a good way to start. Also, they don't have much region left in this top lane. Nightfall has been given a tango.
Trying to heal up a little bit. 0-1-1, of course, for the moment. Boxy, he's got Mangoes queued up, so he knows he's going to need some mana with the constant mana burn that's been plaguing him. And speaking of plagues, you've got Venomancer. So off-lane Venomancer, we've seen him in a couple of different roles throughout the tournament. How do you feel about this hero?
It is very annoying. I think in this game it might be good. Stopping the healing coming out from Chen. Very good against Doom, and he tries to run in pre-BKB, slow him down so he can't really chase you. Builds into Spirit Vessel as well. Annoying hero can build pretty much into any kind of an item. I assume this is just going to be earn Spirit Vessel type of a build, and then he's going to decide what he wants to go for, whether he needs an Aura in this game or if he wants to scale a little bit more with some Force Staff / Hurricane Pike.
Scorched Earth again, but Nightfall being very bothered by this Venomancer, who gets a very quick earn. 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes faster than their previous record.
Usually we do see it from position 5 most of the time. They do have a good amount of mana as well in this top lane if they want to pop the stick, pop the Healing Lotus, and they can try to go for the play. If Chen is out of position, Panto needs to be careful. The only thing that can stop from Shadow Shaman is using Infernal Blade, which is not the easiest thing to do.
Gale's on cooldown, but that'll be the difference maker. Can't go for Panto immediately to get an extra bit of gold for getting that Satyr. And it's just sustained so far for Aurora, trying to get anything they can out of the map. 18-0 for the Doom is not bad. And Shadow Shaman being chased around by that Kobold.
Get his ass.
Hitting him for 21. Mira's dying again. The Kobold is more exciting.
It really
die
is
another
seeing
time.
Rubik dying. It's just going to be a very difficult game, I think, for Rubik overall, especially with the start that he's having right now. Mid lane's not having any fun whatsoever. Team Liquid, this is the type of a lineup that can close out the game relatively early on. We've seen multiple times Toronto Tokyo and Magnus where he is still following. Both of them having backpacks. Maybe there's something to it. Thinking what's inside. And he dies finally.
Nightfall.
There's another one.
Ooh, they've got another one, but they had the Shackle, they had the Gale, they'll have Insania. Nightfall is dead. Panto under the tower, gonna get chased even further. Insania's got a lot of extra damage here, plus 83. And Saberlight's gonna get a double kill. It's already a 3,000 net worth lead for Liquid.
Very snowbally lineup. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to recover. I think the only way is for Toronto Tokyo to have a good game, and so far he's doing okay in this bottom lane, sitting at 23 CS. He needs an early Blink Dagger. I think this is the only way you can try to make some kind of a plays, because Doom is very static. Oh, Nightfall, he TP'd in. The reverse Nightfall. Let's see if he's going to pay with his life.
Here, but he's only level 4.
Not much
Sleight
mana.
of Fist, Searing Chains, and Saberlight working with the Shadow Shaman, who's got the Shackle on a Nightfall. He's dead again. TP'd into the lane. It's going to be on cooldown for 54 seconds, and it's going to be on cooldown for a while when he comes back. Another kill by Insania. Nisha comes in. He's level 6. Boundless Strike. Sleep avoided, but it's not going to matter. Kiyotaka falls to Nisha. 7-0 Liquid. Just devastating Aurora in the top lane.
You don't have the damage. In the previous game, they had quite insane amount of damage. And the Venomancer, look at this. 1,300 damage this early on, 6 minutes in. Hazard of Shadow, so they can continue to play this fast. And now they have to walk from the base. The shame camera is on them.
Oh, no.
Why do they... Like, on small camera, they look like they're moving much slower. They need that Kobold. Chen needs to take Kobold, give them the speed aura.
Gotta be walking down the river. Try to get a little speed going. Liquid has just been overwhelming them. Their damage has been insane, yeah?
Yeah, it's been... I don't think you can ask for a better start. Monkey King, 7-minute rune. We've seen this time and time again. Observer Ward behind enemy tower. I don't think they're getting this rune. Box is in a position already.
Oh god, 3 heroes. Make it 4. Mekkei's here just in case, not even needed, and they're gonna take both shrines. Aurora, this feels like what happened, what they did to Liquid game 1, but even more exacerbated.
Under attack. Radiant's middle tower is
I'm trying to think, is there a way? Because Nightfall, he is level 4. 7.5 minutes in, your supports are also not in a good spot. Ember Spirit lost his lane. He's level 5. It has to be Magnus. It has to be Magnus somehow making a comeback, and I see Toronto Tokyo immediately queuing up a Blink Dagger. Pretty much this is the only way. I'm just trying to stay positive here. It's a very difficult game to come back to.
Really is. I mean, it first starts with a kill, right? Don't even have one of those yet. Sleep hits. He's still level 4. Oh no, Nightfall trying to run, but both these supports, they put enough pressure on that they feel the need to go back under the tier 2 tower. Take out the vision that Aurora has and continue to push with the help of Saberlight too. Magnus gonna try and farm some stacks while all this is going on, but he needs to be that initiator for Aurora. And he is going for the Blink Dagger, but he's only got 400 gold. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, Kiyotaka also doesn't have a game, and he just got initiated on in the mid lane, Boundless. He has a haste rune. Let's see if he can maybe run away. Remnant is ready. Ooh. Nice play.
Well, help by Mira. Keep Kiyotaka alive.
Trying to hype it up. You know, saying nice play, but they're losing 6k at 8 minutes into the game. And they have Rubik on the team.
You don't have to do Rubik dirty like that.
I mean, what does this hero have to do in this game? It's a very difficult game for him.
Ulti
Nightfall.
Saberlight.
Yep.
Nightfall under the tower.
And again.
He's dead on his screen already. And they're going to go forward and... Oh, it is. God.
It might be time to call this game like 12 minutes in.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, they got a kill on the board, but this is still looking pretty brutal. They'll get 2. But they are going to lose Toronto Tokyo. Kiyotaka
doing a good job.
Fade Bolt, and there's a kill in a boxy. All of a sudden, I say it might have been time to call it, but they're coming back into the mix. They've got the Searing Chains, but they don't have a Doom. Not sure it's going to matter, and it won't. So they dove in a little bit far.
Kiyotaka did a lot in that fight. Let's see, 1,600 damage coming out from him. Like monkey damage is through the roof, but they also did overextend. And we can see the XP change, getting 1,400 XP out of that fight. Kiyotaka is definitely back. Panel talked about him picking up Mage Slayer as his item. You are playing against Venomancer, against Tiny. These are very good items. Like, this is a very good item, but Blade Mail has been a bit of a new tech coming out from Ember Spirit with Kaya Sanj, allowing him to go in. Boxy, he gets the Hex. But Mira, look at Rubik go. Never mind. Move the camera away.
You said
see it on screen.
Good thing about Rubik.
Okay, let's just go back to what happened in the lane. ET hits you for double damage. He adds like 50 damage plus other 50, and then Rubik reduces that damage by 3 at level 1. So you're like, oh wow, man. This is really doing a lot. But this is also pre-Mickey getting involved in some of these kills, because he got 2 assists from the lane, but this is yet to see. Like, Tiny has been chilling. Tiny has been farming. He killed the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
They did win a fight, realistically, for Aurora without RP, without that Blink Dagger. But they're going to have the Blink Dagger. They'll have another chance at redemption.
He's
with
AFK
RP.
on Rubik. He's just there.
Gotta soak some experience. Gotta get that level 6. That first item. He's got the Cobalt Cup, though.
He stole it from Cobalt when he was chasing him.
Trying to go for Kiyotaka again. But don't quite get enough lockdown for the grab.
I love this build from Doom. Midas into Tango. This is going to be big.
The Tango or the Midas?
And Tango.
Oh, Rubik. 12 minutes in. All you want is level 6.
And all you get is level 9 Monkey King with the Diffusal Blade against you.
Nightfall with the TP out.
Still strong, even without a BKB. This man knows.
If you press TP quick enough, you
They're
can
going to run
escape.
out of buildings to TP to.
That's true. There is a lot of push happening. The pressure they have just been in the face of Aurora the entire time 0 building damage across the board for Aurora.
It can only get better from here. If I saw this, like if they had the stats on screen, let's say I was in the game, I would go across the river, hit the tower once, and run away. Just to have the highest damage on my team.
I'll say that probably is griefing because I don't think you get to go and run away. I think you hit that tower once and immediately power
Monkey
into
King.
TPs.
Yeah,
Monkey King
TPs.
comes. Yeah.
Let's see what he can steal with Rubik. Right now, doesn't have a single spell. Panto is level 6. Hand of God is ready. Does have telekinesis. He does have Fate Bolt. Two spells.
2 spells?
Basically, one spell. Telekinesis is not a spell. What is that? 0.9?
A long time for that lift duration. 0.95 of a second. They have smoked, but they're not really finding anything. McKay can continue to farm bottom. And he could also push this tier 2 tower. They're really... I thought maybe they'd get this Blink Dagger on the Magnus and they would smoke and look to fight. But if Liquid aren't going to pressure them themselves, they're taking the time right now to try and get into those next items, or at least portions of them.
Mickey has one big problem right now. He's way too farmed. Usually, you don't have Echo Saber enough gold to buy Aghanim Shard pre-15 minutes, so he's now thinking, maybe I can buy another component. Maybe I can buy Ogre Axe and still have enough to buy a Shard. Boxy, chicken.
Kiyotaka. There will be a balanced strike, but Kiyotaka has enough mana with that wand. Oh, they got the skewer back, but here comes your splitter. That'll land on a 2. They don't get the kill on a Saberlight, and Rubik.
Oh god, they're all dead.
Toronto Tokyo also in trouble. He will fall in a second as they've got themselves a second to look for Panto, and the chase is on to kill the champ, but he is netted up. They don't have a sweep to land. But another easy 1-2 gut punch for Team Liquid.
The plague did spread. Spirit Vessel as well, ETLT hit on 3, and then you have Tiny running in with the Solar Crest. Yeah, Venomancer damage is pretty insane. Doom, 94 damage. These numbers are sub 100. Doom doesn't even have Doom skilled.
That's a bit rough. Balanced strike on a 2. They'll look at Nisha. They really, realistically cannot kill Nisha at the moment. There's just no way. Yeah, no Doom skill to level 9. Kind of understanding... Well, now he picked it up. All right. Well, he's going Radiance. Kind of understanding that they weren't really going to fight until they felt at least slightly comfortable, right?
Yeah, Nisha is cutting them out. No Wukong's command.
Serpent Wards, Nightfall, spotted, Doom used, and Mira, the Rubik, dead again.
Shocker. Everybody else, they need to TP out. Monkey's still chasing. Toronto Tokyo, no Blink Dagger. TP is ready, but he's getting pinged out by Venomancer.
Oh no, they got the scan to connect. Elder Titan's gonna find him. Ooh, smoke. Hiding. Surviving. Okay. They're going through the Twin Gate. Toronto Tokyo is actually gonna live. Nobody spotted him.
Middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures.
Yeah, he'll also go through the Twin Gate. That's...
Yeah, I think this is the highlight of Aurora so far from this game. Surviving that gank. Nisha.
Shackle.
That's going to be another kill.
Nightfall. He TP'd out last time, but he won't TP out that time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
17-4. Oh, Panto. Tossed up, and he will die. You still toss, but not really the best spell to get in this game.
Yeah, level 1 toss only. Maybe they can do some skewer backs into toss into Searing Chains into tier 4 towers. Very difficult to execute. Magnus does have a Blink Dagger. Rubik has no cast range. 1 point in Arcane Supremacy. Of course, no Ether Lens. This item is forbidden on the hero to buy, unless you want to grief the game.
Do you even have to buy the Aether Lens to grief the game? Or
No, you just have to pick Rubik,
yeah,
and you're done.
Nisha kind of waiting for Kiyotaka. He was a tree. circling this Remnant and gets all the way to the tier 2 tower. McKay is coming over towards this Aurora team. They've slept up the Chen. Mira, Rubik, dead again. First splitter is going to be thrown out.
Doom in 10
will
seconds.
Connect onto Nightfall. They've got the Sleight of Fist. They'll throw out that ult from Saberlight. He'll Remnant away, but they will look to try and get this Chen. They'll sweep him up, and they should be able to kill him off after they get Kiyotaka. Panto, there's not really a place to run. And Saberlight will be the one who claims the life of this Chen. This is a beatdown. There used to be this show, Bully Beatdown, where they'd get real fighters to beat up people's bullies, and, well, feels like they've got the real fighters right now for Liquid to beat up Aurora, who bullied them the last game. Toronto Tokyo trying to jump in. Avalanche and a toss. Toronto Tokyo with the RP that lands this time, but
He's
they slept up both
Tiny.
Toronto Tokyo and Kiyotaka. They tried to skewer him back, but this is just not looking that great. Maybe they get Insania, but even then, the Avalanche connects, the Gale hits on the Mira. They'll drop down
Nightfall's
the Serpent
stuck
Wards.
again.
They'll doom the Shadow Shaman, but Nightfall needs to run, and it doesn't look like anybody's gonna die here on the side of Liquid.
Ooh. The fastest match of the tournament was Aurora Gaming against OG, where they managed to win in 22 minutes and 47 seconds. Let's see if maybe they can lose, also be somebody that loses the fastest in the tournament. I love what Insania is
9
doing.
and 2.
Yeah, I like this build a lot. Solar Crest and then going for Vlad's, wants to amplify the damage. Finding Magnus here, Toronto Tokyo. Croaker helping a little bit, but that's not good enough.
How long do you stay in a game like this?
Probably for the next like 2-3 minutes. They can still take Tormentor, they can take Roche, and then they can group up with Shadow Shaman wards, Venomancer wards as well. See what Box is drawing on a minimap. Push out all of the lanes.
Oh, Nightfall.
Saberlight gets him with Noxious Plague. Rubik about to die again.
Good
0,
spell
10, and
for
2.
Rubik was Hex, but he's dead. Again, for the 10th time. Double digits.
Every 2 minutes, respawn, try to
Die.
do something, die again. McKay with the shard has more than enough damage. SNY ready. Brigand's Blade, Vampiric, so quite a lot of sustain. And this is something that Boxy was drawing on a minimap. Push all of the lanes, make sure that they can't leave the base.
Rubik has spent a good amount of time dead, but not a lot of time, because he hasn't gotten
Much
respawn
XP,
time or
so
much EXP, yeah.
not big in terms of levels. Radiance is done. That Hand of Midas has been sold. Hail Mary play from Aurora. There it is.
The skewer under the tier 4s. McKay, he'll start to run, but they steal the Avalanche. They've got the RP, and they've done it. They've killed the Tiny, but Kiyotaka is dead. It's a trade, but one that gets them a good amount of gold. Worth about 1,400 gold for that kill on Tiny.
It's the Magnus. It's the saving grace. Like, we've seen Magnuses keep teams and win them the game with some really nice skewer backs. Even though there was Shadow Shaman instantly with the Hex, it wasn't good enough. The damage has already been done. Still yet to lose the game on Magnus.
Is that Aurora's first shrine of the game?
I believe so. They haven't managed to leave the base most of the time, other than with the creeps. Which Panta's doing a very good job, trying to split push, trying to buy a little bit more time.
Has that army pushing bottom. And Insania thinking about fighting the Croaker, but he's got help now from Tiny. Grab a little bit of gold. They've backed off. They could go Roche if they want, get that Aegis, and then finish the game, it seems like. With such an early lead this short of a time frame. 15,000 net worth ahead in 22 minutes. Doesn't feel like there's much in Liquid's way.
No, I think you get Roshan, get Aegis on Tiny so that he can siege, even if you get Skewer back. you still have something to respond, especially great against the Doom, which was not available in the previous fight. I'm pretty sure Mickey would get doomed anyway. And now they will use Serpent Wards to make sure they have extra bit of a damage.
Saberlight has 4,200 gold saved up.
Saberlight's massive. After not having a great game number 1, in this one, staying on top of the network as Venomancer, Hurricane Pike, Treads, and has 4,000 gold saved up. Thinking about buying Scotty. Toronto Tokyo is in a spot, but the rest of the team is not there, so they might just sacrifice Kiyotaka. Boxy, not enough mana.
Yeah, didn't have the mana for Shackles. Ended up that Kiyotaka gets to survive that. Not sure how much of a game difference that'll make. You've got Nightfall going back for the Midas and trying to build it into a BKB.
Boxy again, close to him, but not much mana.
They'll go for Panto instead. And by they, I mean just Nisha. Because now Boxy was looking to try and get Nightfall, but he TP'd back to base once they saw the jump on to that Chen. Have a while to work with this Aegis. Don't really have to force the issue. You know, you can kind of prepare yourself for a siege. See if they group up. They're nearby. They do grab that scan, and Boxy not going to be able to initiate in time to get the Doom as he gets by the gate. Mira's coming out, though.
Toronto Tokyo, let's see if he decides to cut the creep wave. Not this one, at least. Playing behind enemy lines, wants to farm his BKB. Very close to it. TP's ready. So this time around, they can't really stop him. When he goes in with the BKB and Skewer back, there's nothing that can stop him.
Blink Hex, Serpent Wards placed.
Stolen Serpent Wards, that's level 2. Immediately dropped. Mira knows that he's gonna die. They're just gonna focus him down if he doesn't use it.
Toronto Tokyo and Kiyotaka, they smoke back inside the base, but once they took the med center racks, they're gonna disengage. There's not really much that's keeping them there to stay in the mid lane, and they turn back around. They disengaged for a moment, maybe seeing that they can find a pick-off onto Aurora. But they disperse from mid completely. And they're still smoked up on Aurora. They're still looking for a target, but the boundless strike on the blink forward, BKB, RP, but the Yule's up into the air. Monkey King, Skewer, Doom used. This is Shackles and a kill on Anisha as well as Boxy. An opening found by Aurora.
I think Mickey still wants to take the fight. Saberlight has Noxious Plague already. If they find an opening here, if they find the blink initiation, of course, they're gonna find Rubik, Glimmer Cape.
And a God.
Sidestep from Mickey.
Still alive. Sleep gonna run out. He'll wake up. They've got them locked up with the Shockwave, but the Earth Splitter coming through. Nightfall's in trouble. He doesn't have Doom. They get the kill. And now the Avalanche, they'll find Mira. Okay, he's got a double kill. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, but Kiyotaka's running out of mana. And the Skewer back under the tier 3 tower. Mira's gonna buy back. They'll look for Saberlight. They'll get that kill with the Fade Bolt. Toronto Tokyo is dead, though, and now Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. He's got an Aegis. Not sure if they can kill him twice, but they finally get that first life away with that Fade Bolt. They still want to get a kill on Insania, who's looking for the sleep, but Kiyotaka now slept up. Mickey looking. Should be able to get this Avalanche and the toss, and he's dead. And Boxy's back into the fight. They hit that shackle. Mira just bought back Boundless Strike going over to Panto. They'll buy back on Kiyotaka. He'll go to the Remnant on the back end, taking out Insania. Panto falls. Mira hit by that Avalanche.
With Glimmer still alive.
Is
not for long.
Mira now dead for 70 seconds. They'll finish off Boxy. He's going to be dead for 50, and they're still
might die again. Kiyotaka.
Nightfall, no Doom for 40 seconds. Toss over it onto Kiyotaka. But Nightfall, Infernal Blade hits on Mickey. He'll go for the Avalanche, trying to TP out, but the damage is there, and they got the Tiny.
So 2 buybacks, actually 3 buybacks. So Panto, Kiyotaka, and Mira also did buyback in the previous fight. But look at the gold change and the XP change. This fight definitely favoring him. Rubik getting 1,700 gold in the previous fight. So getting closer to his Blink Dagger. If he manages to get it, you might be able to steal Avalanche, like that's your best spell. Tossback is really nice. If you can steal Shackle and then get the free cast. This Glimmer Cape that he picked up gave him a lot of survivability. Plus the pipe that they do have on Chen, making him super tanky. Oh man, Saberlight, he's just scaling. He wants to be the damage dealer. Scotty now available. So his Septic Shock, it like deals extra damage based on how many debuffs you have. And he's going for the Witchblade as well, which is going to be another debuff. Kiyotaka. He got slept here. Mickey blinks in a different direction, but still going to be able to get the kill. Liquid overextending a little bit.
Yeah, they really went far into the base side, especially to kill Panto here. By the way, they just killed Kiyotaka again. He's dead for 70 seconds. Nisha got credit for that kill. After all is said and done on that fight, by the way, they only brought Aurora's percentage back to 10% chance.
You're fighting near the enemy base. They have buybacks available. They're also not the highest level. So even Doom did respawn in this one. It was a nice try from Mickey, but with the overwhelming damage that Alpha Volfora from Doom was definitely more than enough. And with that Hand of Midas gold kicking in, he's still keeping himself in a relatively good spot. About to finish off his BKB. They have no BKB piercing tools, so that's going to be pretty big.
See what neutral he takes. Takes the Gunpowder Gauntlet with the alert, so extra attack speed, extra vision. And
Mira immediately stealing the Serpent Wards. Nicely done. Tumbler Stoy out of the trouble. Problem is you're going to be losing the buildings. They can siege relatively easy with Wukong's command, tiny Shadow Shaman wards. We'll drop it. He did the same thing previous time. I think this time around, they're not going to be able to kill melee barracks instantly. Toronto Tokyo behind enemy lines, trying to get something done.
he wants that horn toss. He wants to give them an option to maybe skewer somebody back through into the base. Doesn't have that shard. It's not something that you're really looking to buy.
He might be in trouble here. Again, still sitting at 0. They haven't touched the tower. Toronto Tokyo, BKB TP out. He learned from the best.
Gunpowder Gauntlet for Tiny too. No surprise. Alright, Doom's got this BKB. It's been staying around 14 to 16,000 for a little while. Maybe they are sustaining enough where they can continue to fight back. They had 4 kills for the longest time. They've upped it all the way to 11, but it has been all Liquid's game, and Panto, he is going to die showing in the mid lane like that. Blink Avalanche on the Remnant, toss over, but has that slight Remnant away. Nightfall, 4 staff back. Bit of a save there by Mira to have that 4 staff. He's also still holding on to Serpent Wards, which he can drop again in 30 seconds.
He got him slept. Still, Mira doing a very good job with what he has. Trying to keep them alive, trying to keep himself alive with Glimmer Cape and 4 staff, but Mickey, he's had enough. And it's going to be another set of barracks.
Avalanche. And the Gale coming in, as well as the Wukongs. Threw out that Noxious Plague, but they don't really continue the fight, and they'll back away from the base completely. Toronto Tokyo sitting quite far away from getting that Ags, and that Horn Toss is just not going to be available for a while.
Our observers are like, just pick up that Whisper of the Dread, but he doesn't get it.
Serrated Shiv with Brawny.
Venomancer's damage in this game has to be through the roof. Like, the damage over time that Noxious Plague did spread multiple times. Probably has the highest damage overall in the game.
Just barely. Monkey King's kind of close. Doesn't have the highest damage in the game. It's Ember, though, and...
Kiyotaka really pushing the limits.
Yeah, he's trying to do anything he can to keep this team in the game. We've seen a lot of comebacks, so until that throne falls, I am definitely hard set on saying that this game is possible for Aurora. Sleep, Serpent Wards came through from Aurora. They should be able to get the kill in Epoxy here, at least one, but he's got the Gale Guard. He's still in the run. He ends up surviving with BKB being popped by Nietzsche. The chase is on for Kiyotaka. He's got a Remnant, but it's moving slow. The Earth Splitter was used, and Kiyotaka's not able to survive. And Foxy, with him surviving that attack, he's able to get the Shackle and the Serpent Wards down on Toronto. Tokyo Mickey gets the kill. Taking out Panto is Nisha.
Oh man, they thought he's dead
really turned it
because
around.
against the foul play, all you need is one Radiant stick, but Boxy getting the Gale Guard last second, making sure that he gets enough, and then he runs away, and now he's back to full HP. His Tranquil Boots, it kicks in, then he gets the jump, and now without Magnus, 30 seconds, he still has BKB and RP available. He needs to buy back on Magnus, otherwise you're playing against Mega Creeps.
Seems like they're content on playing against Megas. Honestly. Seems like they might be content on just...
Yeah, maybe just
letting
save
the
the
game end.
buybacks for game number 3. They're probably waiting for everybody to be out to try to take one fight, maybe skewer them into the fountain, and that's it. BKB's ready on Tiny. Toronto Tokyo getting scouted, getting his Blink Dagger canceled by ET. Oh, look at this damage. He slowed 100 move speed on Kiyotaka. Nice dodge from Saber.
RP, Mickey, BKB, and he is alive. Still an nullifier onto Kiyotaka, but the Shackles connect on a Nightfall. GG is called. We're going to a game 3 Liquid to a very easy game number 2.
Game 1 was pretty massive beatdown from Aurora. Second game, Team Liquid, they're like, oh, you want to see us do the same thing?
Thank you, G. That was great. I'll take the throw from G like that again when he gives another interview with Nomad, because those are top-tier interviews. At least, I think so.
I gotta hit it. You always have to doubt yourself.
Well, you don't answer immediately, and then
it
I
was like half
panic.
a second.
I was like, yeah, it felt like
I was just reading some of the change logs, making sure that I'm up to date with everything, that I didn't miss something. Oh, smoke, and they just scouted them out. Nightfall is in a good spot. You're fighting into Sven with Stormhammer. Let's see if he decides to commit for it.
Ooh,
he's
now
the one
he's sold
isolated.
out. But still holding on. Shockwave, Disruption. Kiyotaka off to the side. Flame Break. Now that curveball will sit on Saberlight. Blood Grenade. First blood for Nightfall. But Toronto Tokyo looks like he'll be traded, as they have the Searing Chains to stop him from getting up onto the high ground.
Oh, so Nightfall, in the end, gets the first blood. Considering everything that he was stuck on the other side, they still had Disruption. Level 1 from Team Liquid isn't really the greatest unless you're gonna commit with some, like, stick in a palm in a longer fight tag team. But instead, they wanted to get better spells overall. And there it is, Shards from Insania. Mira is stuck there for a couple of seconds.
Boxy's also here. Flame Break, Searing Chains all of a sudden once again. 4 heroes mid. Trying to get Mira. Who are they going to give it to? It'll be Nisha. I mean, that is 4 heroes in the mid lane to start off for Liquid.
It's a good start for Nisha. Giving him this kill, giving him one extra bit of assist. And he has enough gold to buy a bottle immediately. 30 seconds into the game, this could be pretty massive.
How's this matchup go overall, though? When it normally isn't bottle immediately for Nisha and an Ember Spirit, how is it against the puck?
Ember Spirit likes to play into this matchup, like his, as we can see,
Taka?
like even before that bottle, Kiyotaka with the curve. And will still die. And that answers your question. This is also
really
a bit of a
favoring
Kiyotaka
Ember
added into the equation. So Nisha, level 2, will be level 3 after this creep wave. I don't think you can ask for a better start.
Something that they really needed for that mid lane. Nightfall, he's the one who got that first blood. See how his lane goes. I expect, honestly, a lot of rotations from this Nature's Prophet early. That's the way we've seen a lot of these Prophets in the tournament so far play. They'll TP in to help with a kill.
Yeah, well, I want to see aggression onto Nightfall this time around. They have Night Stalker, which is not going to lose the lane to Sven and Enchantress. I saw Saberlight toying with the idea to go for the other facet for a long time before he actually picked it, but this allows you to have extra move speed in the lane immediately, extra attack speed, put slightly more pressure onto the Nightfall, and I also want to see Twin Gate rotation from Insania when the lane is close to the tower, because the bottom lane is not like the most killer lane. If they use Disruption, if they use Skewer, you can TP out, but if its lane is in a good spot, Mickey can also jungle a little bit, allow Tusk to go through the Twin Gates, because I want to see some diving, I want to see them play super aggressive, and Mickey already trying to TP in, thinking about it.
thinking about it with Panto going back under the tower when he TP'd to the lane. So if you could pressure that and then get aggressive, that would be interesting. But now Disruption, Skewer, and immediately trying to TP, but the damage is overwhelming, and a pause from Nightfall as he disconnects after they got that kill onto this Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, it looks like one of those BM pauses, but Nightfall, he was on a different side of the map, definitely not clicking the bottom lane to see what's going to happen. And it was a nice try for Mickey. As I said, if these abilities are used, you can try to TP out, but it was not good enough. Didn't have enough sustain. Maybe if he popped a stick, actually, yeah, that could definitely save them there.
Kiyotaka got both water runes, keeping Nisha's bottle empty. That'll help him kind of maintain the lane, at least from where it was. But you see the big difference in net worth already. Ember is very far ahead. Kiyotaka giving up, of course, that solo kill, and now just trying to recover so far. And taking those water runes is certainly going to help.
Definitely will. And knowing Kiyotaka, he wants to play aggressive. He wants to be the annoying guy, wants to keep the pressure. Nisha, level 4, putting 2 points into Flame Guard after getting that first blood. I guess he got a little surprised by Searing Chains in this matchup. That's what did allow him to get the first blood. Mickey will TP back to the bottom lane.
Tying that quickly, it could happen again. One Disruption Skewer combo proving to be enough.
They also have pretty good combo with Nature's Prophet, this Tusk and NP, because you can get out of the Sprout with your Quelling Blade, but if you use Ice Shards on top of that, you're still gonna be stuck.
Stack, by the way, made by Mira while he backed up, gaining some of that mana with the clarity that he's got running. Nightfall just level 2 here, has Panto. We'll have that help. We'll see if it's Panto more so into the heal, if they want to try and just keep Nightfall safe if there is that dive. Nisha still staying ahead, but taking a lot of damage here. Kiyotaka just continuing to right-click onto this Ember Spirit. Still needs to be a bit careful. We'll lose that range creep to a deny. But 6 stacks on the Sticky Napalm make things a little bit uncomfortable for this Sven. You can walk right back, get that heal, and this is definitely the benefits of Enchantress. Something we see very similarly to Warlock, who has that Shadow Word early on.
Yeah, I would say that he's slightly better laner. What he provides, he can push the lane easily, provide you with more sustain and lower cooldown. But yeah, Enchantress did one hell of a job in game number 1, where did allow us Nightfall to stay in the lane for a really long time. And now Mira with the tag team.
Very dead.
Sprout, Mickey will get the kill.
So many of these blocking abilities with the shards, with the Sprout. It is kind of annoying to deal with and making it impossible to kind of retreat from these fights. Saberlight, he is quite low but won't fall to the damage coming in from Nightfall and Panto. Panto deciding to go 2 into the enchant, which is pretty standard.
Saberlight is having a good amount of CS, but they haven't managed to pressure Nightfall. Nightfall right now on top of the CS chart, and there's going to be nighttime in the next 15-ish seconds, 20 seconds from now, actually.
Kiyotaka now 2 levels behind Nisha for a moment. He'll get that level 5 now. Does have that Waning Rift silence on Tanisha, avoiding that slight. Had to go all the way back to base. Now Saberlight, Panto not going to be able to survive the trade coming through with all the stacks of Sticky Napalm. And again, Mickey even feinting TPing over into the top lane and try and go for Nightfall, who's got 10 stacks of Sticky Napalm on him.
Nice timing from Aurora, knowing that it's going to be daytime. Maybe Boxy could have gave him Healing Lotus. It's 125 HP. Could have maybe made the difference, but he was also relatively slow. I'm not sure if he had boots ready at the time. So this is level 4 Night Stalker, needs XP. This hero from the offlane needs a lot of XP, a lot of solo XP. And Boxy's doing a good job, going into the triangle immediately, trying to get some stacks going. While Mira is trying to secure the rune, Kiyotaka will get it.
Yeah, getting that Arcane Rune, filling up that bottle again. Curious to see how they react with this Arcane Rune. Maybe there's a play with supports coming over when Kiyotaka does hit that level 6, pop the Arcane Rune, go to the Dream Coil, or maybe he gets that 6 and TPs to one of these side lanes. Try to get a kill elsewhere. But Nisha really finding the advantages so far, and experience-wise is very far ahead, as well as in that net worth department. That being said, you know, Nightfall is having a good time top. They have not punished this Sven at all, and they are going to look for this 7-minute shrine.
They need to bail. Liquid, they don't have enough. They can't bring enough numbers.
It'll be a trade,
Stalker, yeah, isn't level 6 yet. Maybe with him being level 6, NP TPing in, and he's gonna TP out the mid lane, try to collect some of that XP, seeing that the top lane is not very safe for him. Nisha
stealing stacks.
And Mickey stealing the stacks. This is nicely done. This is something that Magnus would definitely love to pick up, playing with Eternal Empowerment. Level 6 is ready.
They had that obs there, saw those stacks. They knew that 3 heroes were over by the shrine, so they were able to sneak in and steal those stacks. And now this Illusory Orb is going to jaunt back, but no, he'll hold it, and that could be an issue. Dream Coil popped, and the Wrath of Nature flies in. That gets Kiyotaka, who uses this Dream Coil just to hold them down for a second, but nothing more. Kind of expected maybe that Arcane Rune, that Dream Coil, to be used on a side lane, but instead kind of gets caught out of position across the river.
Yeah, classic Kiyotaka move. The rest of the team were playing top lane, dealing good amount of damage to the tier 1 tower, which would open up their entrance to the triangle, knowing that there's going to be a lot of stacking. Boxy, whenever he plays Batrider, he is the guy that stacks the most. This is how you're getting the XP, how you're getting the gold. Insania making a move. Nisha's also coming to the top lane, and so is Mickey.
Snowball short of Mira, not looking like it'll matter with all these heroes here, but he survives with a shot left. The shards are on the money, and they will finally find the Shadow Demon. So much gold for this Nature's Prophet with that Wrath of Nature kill, and now that kill up top. Looks really good for Liquid. Again, I do worry about how much space they give to Nightfall, as we saw evident in game number 1, but it is not the same. Coil's back up. If Kiyotaka wants to try and turn this, they've got Panto.
Saberlight also wants to go
Ooh.
up. Croaker.
Tendrils hurting this a little bit. Wrath of Nature, Snowball coming through on a Panto. They'll get the kill on a Kiyotaka. It's falling apart for Aurora. And they try to get this kill on Anisha, but he is
a lot of physical damage.
Really now going after another kill, and will find this Enchantress. Anisha will be able to remnant onto the other side, and now the attention is on a Nightfall who has no help. So top lane gets devastated by the moves from Liquid. It was all started on Aurora being the ones who wanted to play aggressive, but Liquid have come out ahead, and now they've got themselves a pretty significant lead.
This is Team Liquid playing with Nature's Prophet. Wrath of Nature in the previous one did kill Kiyotaka with the move from Night Stalker. Second one also kills him. And this is not an easy puck game by any means. You're playing into Night Stalker, you're playing into Batrider as well. Like, Night Stalker is going to be the big one. Searing Chains as well. We'll see if anybody else might go into some kind of a, you know, extra bit of a control coming out. Probably not at the start, but Night Stalker is going to be causing a lot of issues. Not just for him, but also for the supports. Even Magnus, when he blinks in, tries to skewer somebody back, you can blink in with the silence pre-BKB and make his life pretty much miserable. Mickey now on top of the network. Those early involvements, managing to get the kill, and also managing to kill tower in the top lane. Saberlight wants to scale. I know that we've seen some of the games where he falls off, because I remember one of the games where he was playing Omni Knight, did go for the Crimson Guard. It might have been previous Wallachia. And I think he also learned a lesson. This guy learns pretty quickly what he needs to do. Venomancer in the previous game, staying on the top of the network, now going for the Echo Saber. So thinking if this game goes late, considering that they do have Magnus, so they can defend the high ground as seen in the second game, that he wants to be able to scale, wants to have that extra bit of a damage, extra bit of a tankiness that he can provide. And now they are underneath the vision. RP in the bottom lane.
And the skewer, Mickey in trouble. We'll throw out that Wrath of Nature, but he'll still end up dead. Now it bounces over, and Mira gets traded out by Insania.
They wanted to make a move onto the top lane. They saw 3 heroes underneath vision. Panther just killed that Observer Ward, but there's another one that is scouting him out.
Sees him everywhere.
Dire are scanning.
The vision game from the side of Team Liquid is good.
Nightfall, he's
Isha.
at half HP here.
Nisha was there. Nightfall, yeah, like you said, half HP. Blood grenade thrown onto this
AK is
Sven.
out. He needs to TP in.
Trying to TP over, and he actually goes south, so he'll avoid the gank for the moment, but Panto's going to be the one who is focused. Sven can't really turn back into this, and Mira's also shown up, but the damage is just not enough to clean up Panto with the overprotective wisps and the level 2 in the Nature's Attendants.
Didn't commit. Not sure if he was able to get the lasso, but Mickey wasn't responding immediately, and now Kiyotaka
Great
again
positioning
in
from
a lot of
Insane, yeah.
trouble.
Another Dream Coil, just not really for much.
They're having some of the same issues as they did in game number 2. Aurora, their supports are not really dealing much damage. Magnus needs a little bit more time. Baka got shut down. Sven also wants to farm, doesn't get involved early on. There it is. Boxy was pretty much the only guy who was stacking 6 camps. Nikkei.
Honestly, so many stacks for Aurora, but
Some
how
of
many
those
of them
got
did they,
stolen.
yeah, how
Yep.
many did they take? Because, again, more stacks being taken by the side of Liquid. I'd love to know how many of those 16 stacks were actually successfully taken by Aurora. It doesn't feel like many. Here is level 6, Sven's up here. But Boxy looking potentially to go in with a lasso. This feels like another situation in where they need Toronto Tokyo to kind of have that blink RP moment. They're just going to jump forward. They'll find themselves Mira. There's nothing he can do. They'll go to the RP, and this is the moment I was
Nightfall
talking
with
about.
the stun.
We're back with the Stormhammer and the God Strength, but they hit the lasso. Illusory Orb coming in. They don't have Dream Coil, and this is a really bad fight for Aurora. They're going to lose Nightfall. Kiyotaka drops. Toronto Tokyo hit with the Walrus Punch, and Saberlight not afraid to go under the tower. He's also got some help from Nisha, who will throw the Searing Chains onto 2 heroes, but no creeps to tank the tower, and Toronto Tokyo is going to be fine. But another fight again from Liquid that really doesn't see them lose much, if anything.
Yep, it looked like an okay fight for Aurora. The way that it starts, Magnus gets 2-man RP, skewer back onto the Sven, who has stun ready. But they are lacking some of the damage as well. These heroes are very tanky. This is Night Stalker with 1700 HP, 13 armor, so you're not really going to be killing him fast. And we said some of the downsides of Aurora's draft is they don't really have that much damage. This was also without Puck really getting too involved. He needs to be careful. One bad Illusory Orb, if he gets silenced by a Night Stalker, he's going to die. And no defensive items. This is a situation as a Puck where you need to decide what you want to buy. Like whether you're going for a Force Staff as your first item, or you want to be able to scale, get your Witchblade. Because if Night Stalker gets a connection onto you, you're pretty much dead unless Shadow Demon gets a disruption. So maybe he's thinking that Mira is going to be able to save him. Nisha. 3 runes for him. That's a good amount of gold. This also tells the story of the game.
Yeah.
That they've been playing the top part of the map, trying to shut down Nightfall. Toronto Tokyo getting scouted.
These middle of the lane words have done
Yes.
so much for Liquid. Their vision game this game has been on peak. And they're going to go find themselves a Magnus once more. You know, something that was interesting to me in the last fight's fight recap was the fact that they all did equal damage throughout the fight. It was all about every hero doing about 2,000 damage. And there's not one guy they're heavily reliant on in these fights, and they're all going in to try and overwhelm Aurora. They've got the puck coming over. Kiyotaka's going to be here. Stormhammer, God Strength, Shards block him out of the position, which forces them to use Dream Coil to still just get this kill onto the Tusk. But you lose just Tusk, you dive that far, they use God Strength, which won't turn into a fight.
Yes. But
It's
look
fine.
at Liquid. Immediately, Mickey TPs to the top lane. You have bottom lane, Saberlight. He's ready to go, get some creeps. Mid lane is also getting farmed. Moxie was jungling there, stacking for a little bit. So it does feel like, even though they are grabbing the kill, net worth for Team Liquid is still increasing.
Yeah. And you know that this God Strength's not going to be used to fight you, so you don't really have to play too afraid. Dream Coil was used, RP still available, but you're never really going to be or really shouldn't be too grouped together. I would say outside of coming out of a snowball where an RP hits more than 2 heroes. So you're kind of going to be free to fight, right? Like, because Dreamcoil and RP, you've got Stormhammer, but the lockdown options aren't exactly amazing for the side of Aurora.
Yeah, if you land a coil, Sven's stun, which is now level 2, so you will have some extra. It's still okay, because they have no saves on Liquid, other than Snowball, which is not the easiest to execute if you get initiated on, as well as Skewered back. But speaking of initiation, they'll just get whatever they can. Any kind of a kill, Boxy will get that one. There's a lot of damage on the ground, a lot of damage over time as well coming out from Ember, and also Firefly from Bat. A lot of BKB piercing tools, something that Sven doesn't like to play into, where he wants to blink in, deal the damage. If he gets stunned by Tusk or he gets lassoed, pretty much the whole BKB duration in the mid game is going to be gone.
And they picked the Sven, but there's a lot of ways to kite the Sven. And similar to Ursa, it's just, you know, you find yourself kind of running in a circle.
Yeah. Now you have also a big issue that both supports on Liquid have blink daggers. Much easier to play the game. Good ways of saving people, so Boxy doesn't necessarily, Insania doesn't necessarily need to be really playing.
Look at how they're grouped up
in the middle of a fight. Can keep his distance, make sure that he gets the snowball off.
That was really well done by Liquid. Like, he knew he's gonna skewers him back towards the Tusk, and then you just have more lockdown, right? Mickey could be there as a Nature's Prophet. This is all going so well for Liquid. You've got a Nature's Prophet that has 3,000 more gold than anybody else coming up into the net worth conversation. It'll be Blink Daggers soon for Sven, and then he wants that BKB. But again, the BKB could definitely be mitigated with a couple of spells here for Liquid, which will make Nightfall's life tougher. You don't really have the ability to do the classic Nightfall, right? With both the Lasso and the Walrus Punch, you're never really going to find yourself a moment in which you can just BKB TP out.
I also think in this game, he is not allowed to BKB TP out of the fights, because with this overwhelming damage that Team Liquid does have, they will punish you. As soon as they see that there is no BKB available, it makes the team fight. Like, they can go for an objective. They see him BKB TPing out, that's Roshan, that's Tormentor.
TP in. Panto caught. Boxy's here. Flame Break lands. They've got the silence, and they will heal with the Wisp. They'll use that Walrus Punch, and Boxy's on a mega kill streak on this Bat Rider. He's got a lot of gold already.
Didn't die a single time.
He's
5-0 and 6.
2 matches on this Bat Rider, 2 wins. Easy 100%, easy math. Having the supports so farmed here too for the side of Liquid, it puts even more stress on Aurora. Opens up these initiation items where they've got the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider. Well, what do you do if you're Aurora? You want time for Sven, but I mean, farm on Sven doesn't feel like it's going to make the most difference if they can kite him well enough.
Yeah, they still need these 2 big items. He can disassemble his Echo Saber, get a BKB if he feels that the fight is going to occur. That's why he has Recipe. Mira, just going to be another easy pickoff for Liquid. Liquid, I think they should be doing what they did in the second game. Go for Tormentor, which is going to be spawning in the next 15 seconds. Try to take Roshan. Take it slow, then with the first stages, try to go for the high ground, put a little bit more pressure. Still, you gotta be aware of Magnus. This time around, Magnus is having a slightly better game. Kiyotaka, Insania snaps the coil.
He's snowballing towards the Croakers. And Insania shards, curveball. He was the one who was trying to mess around with that puck and ends up paying for it. Kiyotaka gets a kill, but they find themselves Panto again. They will burn him out. Isha's got the credit for that one, and on the monster kill streak, as you've got the Ember at 8-0 and 5. And the Bat Rider 5-0 and 7. Really good games for both Boxy and Nisha so far. I mean, really good games for everybody on Liquid. They've only died 6 times. Not really a lot of deaths to go around. Do commit to the BKB on the Sven, so we'll forego the Blink Dagger initially. See if the BKB can help Nightfall kind of survive in the fights and maybe get the damage off with the God Strength. But you can see Mickey is making progress and continuing to just expand that net worth lead over this Sven.
It is a lot. It's just very difficult. If Mickey gets the BKB off before, he also has Hurricane Pike ready. One downside to his neutral item choices is that Searing Signet doesn't work when you deal the damage over the 2k range. That's the one that was a bit OP with Zeus, with these global type of abilities. Wrath of Nature, so you need to be relatively close, otherwise it's not gonna trigger.
He's been TPing into fights pretty close, but also has that option, Wrath of Nature from a distance. Aurora, they are pretty far forward, all things considered. Nightfall across the river, but will finally retreat back, so will Mira, and so will the rest of the team.
Double Observer Ward, one planted by Mira, one by Panto. They might have been planted at the same time, looking at the duration left.
Good enough sentry, could take them both out. Smoke from Liquid. Everything available for Aurora. We'll see how they initiate. They still have this nighttime. Kiyotaka might be the one who's caught. Silence, Snowball, and the Remnant forward. They have got everything needed to get Kiyotaka. Nisha now godlike.
Even with the shield rune, he dies so quickly. That's the downside of him playing into Night Stalker matchup with the Blink Dagger. He has BKB queued up, definitely needs some kind of a protection, whether he gets a Force Staff, which is a bit of a cheaper option on a lower cooldown, or if he wants to commit with the BKB, which is a safer option. Panto.
Just no way out.
Nice one, Insania. Was trying not to steal it, but also did not want to let him get away. Did cancel that punch a couple of times.
And then Nisha right in on Amira. The disruption was used, but there is the movement forward from Boxy to get that lasso sleight of fist. Nisha's got another kill. It is 24-6 in favor of Team Liquid.
We haven't seen Magnus try to go for any kind of a skewer play. Toronto Tokyo has been pretty silent again this game. Does have BKB, does have Blink Dagger available, so we'll try to go for defending the high ground. They are losing most of the towers. There's still tier 2 tower in the mid lane and in the bottom, but Liquid will use this opportunity, knowing that they can't really take the fight because they are showing many heroes in the top lane. And this will give them Roshan for free.
Easy Aegis. Picked up for Nisha. Insania finds the snowball on a Nightfall, and that will connect. Kiyotaka's here. Shards expanded, blocking out the stairs, so they can't really get to him. Waning Rift, Blink Dagger. I lied. He's dead. They couldn't walk to him, but they could blink in Waning Rift and Illusory Orb jaunt to him. It wasn't as safe as maybe some would have thought. Could have killed another Tusk, but a lot of time to work with this Aegis. And God Strength used again. So God Strength, when that's down, might be the moment where Liquid want to go, but right now they found themselves this Magnus who was thinking about the RP, but the Skewer is off the mark. They hit the lasso that'll pull him back, but the Stormhammer the damage. They take out Boxy to look over. The Street Coil was used and now hits away at this Ember. God Strength.
Saberlight Blink Dagger in a second. He's in.
Right on top of Panto, but the rest of the team not there in time.
Still showing the strength of the lineup from Aurora when Sven goes in with Empower, with that extra cleave. And this was without even using the RP. Toronto Tokyo had to pop his BKB, so triple BKB used in that one. But Sven got a good amount of gold and dealt a decent amount of damage as well. Level 17. Crystallis is being delivered on the courier. Liquid. It says 11k gold lead, but when they are defending high ground on Aurora, it is definitely a game that, or even fights that they can relatively easy win. With 2-3 man RPs, that fight definitely belongs to Aurora, if Sven can follow up.
Yeah, that's the big if, right? Like, you need him to kind of have that God Strength. You need him to have that damage. But an RP into the Stormhammer does produce a lot of lockdown. Maybe enough time for Nightfall to get that damage out there. Like you said, it is a big lead right now for Liquid, but they are looking for their opportunity. They will smoke. Maybe they find an RP and a connection, as Nightfall's got God Strength.
BKB's coming off
the
cooldown
ready.
in 10.
The question really becomes, who can they find? And right now, these heroes on Liquid or bottom, they have avoided this gank pretty efficiently.
No one's showing. Now Kiyotaka showed in the top lane. Try to fish for any kind of information.
Pushing out this creep wave and maybe putting some pressure onto the tier 2 tower. Nightfall still in the area looking for his Harpoon. He's got this Crystallis. He's farmed a lot. It looked like things were looking really grim. Forced him to go to an early BKB, but then he got that Blink Dagger, and now he's picked up that Crystallis almost into the Harpoon. Sven has had time to farm back into it. Is tied with the Ember. A lot of gold is here onto the Nature's Prophet, but one good fight for Nightfall puts him towards the top.
Also just got level 18 from it, so extra 40 bonus damage gonna come out. Yeah, damage still isn't there compared to Mickey, who is more early game oriented hero, has a global presence. Nightfall didn't get pushed out of the lane, but still was struggling a little bit in terms of how much he was able to do, considering that they did lose some of the lanes, especially the mid lane. Mickey staying one full item ahead of him. 21,000 compared to 16,000 on Nightfall.
Quite a lot of gold. But a gap that can be reclaimed. Or made to feel even worse if they lose that fight. Smoke used by Liquid. A lot of time on the next Roche, of course. Aegis was taken very quickly. Might have seen that smoke, and they do back up towards their side of the map, on the edge of the map, and also have Kiyotaka top. No surprise that Mickey is just trying to continue to farm while the rest of the team is looking for a pickoff. He could TP into the fight at any time, similar to the way we've seen Dawnbreakers play. You don't need to be there initially. Boxy going for the Ags. We've seen this be very beneficial for the Bat Riders that we've seen in the games. Blink Lasso comes through on Amira, and Sleight of Fist, Nightfall, maybe thinking about retreating immediately as they've gotten their hands on a Panto after getting the kill on Amira. Uses that Essence Ring, has those Wisps, trying to get into the high ground. The damage is starting to break through a little bit, and they will get a second as it's beyond godlike now for Nisha.
Nightfall was ready to blink in, but decided not to, seeing that Team Liquid is there. BKB and TP out is ready. He's gonna blink out, try to blink away from Tusk, trying to blink away from Batrider, who doesn't even have Lasso available. So let's see how they approach this one. No BKB for a minute and a half. They should be able to potentially take the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. By tier 1, I mean tier 2.
An outer tower. Toronto, Tokyo cleaning up. He's still going for that Ags. He really wants to have that extra bit of lockdown with the Horn Toss. Well, like you said, they're not working with this BKB for Nightfall. That's going to make them feel a bit vulnerable. But the push can come through. Toronto, Tokyo, BKB, Skewer, RP, but the damage he's taking, Nightfall's in.
Look at the cleave.
Walrus Punch, but they've got the Harpoon, the pullback Insignia, they'll get the kill there. Amir's going to be forced to disrupt, but they land the lasso. It's on a Nightfall. He's sprouted, flame broken, and burning out. Nightfall is dead. Mira drops. Boxy dead to Kiyotaka. Dream Coil was on Amike, and he'll see Kiyotaka, who will be Sleight of Fisted, but avoiding it with Phase Shift, blinking away from Nisha. Has some help if Toronto, Tokyo maybe can go in and get a Blink Shockwave score, but he really doesn't want to do that without a BKB, and they will get back to base.
You can still see the damage. It was a nice play from Mickey using Hurricane Pike during the skewer, pushes himself slightly away from that RP. And yeah, the damage from Sven was definitely there, but without a BKB, he's gonna get kited. Even throughout the BKB, we already said they have multiple abilities that go through. Lasso, immediately used. They have Tusk with the punch on relatively short cooldown. That's a 13-second cooldown ability.
RP, but Toronto, Tokyo actually survives this. He was in such a bad spot, but without that BKB for the Sven, it made Nightfall vulnerable. I mean, the lasso could go through anyway, but he wasn't really so confident throughout that fight. Kiyotaka's in trouble. Dream Coil comes in, and now Toronto, Tokyo skewer through the middle of the fight, but they'll look for Nisha. Toronto, Tokyo is the only one who's died so far.
He dodges it. Oh,
he is
God.
all alive and away from the fight and away from any harm. Nisha surviving, and the blinking from Saberlight, they don't want to stop. God's strength comes through. Saberlight gets ripped apart by Nightfall, but that's really all you're going to get with this BKB usage. Shards are short of Nightfall, but land on the Panto. They've got Walrus Punch, and they'll have the damage, but he is now up out of the high ground. Sprout actually pushed him out. Mickey's going to TP behind the racks. Find that double kill, find the kill on a Panto, but now they've got the lasso again on a Nightfall.
Nightfall
Mickey
got
with the
baited.
BKB, he's free to hit in, and they will take out the Sven. Toronto, Tokyo misses the skewer once more. Mickey with that force staff onto the low ground. Now the Shards, they block him Mira, they block him Panto. This should be another couple of kills for the side of Liquid. It's an ultra kill for Mickey. The RP is used, that connects.
They need
have
to
a
talk
chance
at the
here.
middle of the damage.
They get the kill into Insignia, they'll take out Mickey. Now they'll look for Nisha. Is the damage enough? No, not yet. Boxy ends up dead, but Toronto, Tokyo falls through. Nisha on the run from Kiyotaka, who's going to be hit with the Searing Chains. The illusory orb is curved away from Nisha, but he has mana. He has that Blade Mail ready to go. Kiyotaka searching, not finding this Ember Spirit just yet, but there's the curveball.
Kiyotaka needs to be
And maybe he
careful
can
with
get
the
him.
Blade Mail.
Blade Mail, Waning Rift gets the silence, but Blade Mail's still going, forcing Kiyotaka to run away. Takes out his courier, and they'll curveball, but Nisha wants to go back in and misses that slight. They've got the jump back in from Saberlight, though.
Doesn't matter
He'll
with
blink
the
in, has the
BKB.
silencing, will get that kill onto the puck.
Amplify damage on him. Very long fight, 13,000 damage. Pretty much the same amount of damage as the whole enemy team. Mickey standing his ground, getting those right clicks in. And for the next fight, he's going to have Satanic, so that's going to be even more difficult to kill him. Level 25, no TP CD.
I said one good fight for Aurora could bring Sven back, or oppositely exacerbate the difference, and look at the difference now.
Those are some fancy words.
There was some SAT words, a little standardized testing in the US and in New York. I did okay on my SATs.
3 out of 5, huh?
Sure, I mean, that
Got
probably
that
sounds
C,
better
huh?
than whatever I was going to say. There's that Satanic.
Like, the way this fight started, I don't think it showed on the screen, but there was impetus chasing Ember Spirit. Nisha used one Remnant defensively, and then saw impetus still following him, so he used it towards the impetus and dodged it. Game's falling apart. They needed 3-man RP to win this game. 3-man RP into Sven follow-up. But the problem is, Boxy, he doesn't want to initiate. Like, he understands what his job is, to be staying away from the fight, wait for Sven to blink in, and then lasso him so that he can't deal the damage.
Roche will roar, but he's dead pretty quickly. There's really no answer for Aurora. They can't fight this on the low ground, and as happens with plenty of Magnus games, you're forced into a position where you have to defend on an RP on the high ground. Panto. He's out of vision. Good TP. Nature's Prophet,
He can be anywhere
level
on the map.
25. Yeah, he removed the teleportation cooldown. We've seen a couple of 3x tree and HP damage pickups.
Not so good
but
in this game. You are playing against Sven and Magnus. They can easily cleave them. This is not that old one Treant that had 4,000 or 5,000 HP with bazillion damage.
Yeah, they transferred all those perks to Shadow Shaman's ward. Good win percentage for Nature's Prophet. Removing that teleportation cooldown, like you said, means you could be anywhere at any time on any gank.
Bottom.
And there's that RP into a TP, but he knows he's got lasso, so he'll wait a second, look for the high five, and then say bye-bye.
Knows that he's not getting out of that one. I mean, Boxy's pretty massive in this game. He has the same amount of farm as the enemy offlaner after this kill. It's daytime, but they do have Dark Ascension available, and they're building into a lot of physical damage reduction. I see Tusk with Vlad. Night Stalker going for AC. Mickey, he's in.
Dark Ascension gets used.
You hear that sound, you don't know where he is. You better run back. Saberlight, thinking about getting the jump on Kiyotaka, maybe get the BKB out of him.
Bottom center racks are going to go. Daedalus for the Sven. They really could use an RP, but They don't have an RP and they don't have a Magnus. And even when Magnus is back up in 30, the RP will be down for another 35. You don't have that high ground defense tool, that one thing that you're leaning on to try and bring the game back. Lasso connects on Kiyotaka, and he
Nightfall did not want to follow.
got not a lot of life remaining. Mira's already dead to Mickey, and this puck will try to run away, but won't be successful as Nisha follows it, and will snag that curveball and hit it out of the park.
They really set up Nisha for success in this game. 14-0 and 15. That first blood, or the second blood that he got, then the solo kill that he got on puck. It is one play that they do have. It's during the daytime, so Night Stalker's not going to be as effective.
Orntoss got strength, the damage, not enough.
No RP for
Nisha's
20.
able to leave in Toronto, Tokyo. You mean no RP for 75 because he is dead, no buyback. RP's not going to matter. Nightfall's going to die. GG is called. Liquid take the back end 2 games and will beat Aurora 2-1.
Very fast game from Liquid. Even though it took them 37 minutes. Again, pretty similar to what happened in Game 1, Game 2 as well. In